I've been gone for a very long time and I have my reasons why, but I came back to make a video on how I actually do my face. I've been getting a lot of questions like on the streets and from friends, hello Rogan, that have been asking me like how do I do my face, so I'm making this video for you guys who have asked me. So I'm just gonna go straight right into it. If you want to see how I got my face like this, then keep watching. So I already did my eyebrows, of course, because it will probably be a lot longer video if I didn't. So next okay, so the thing that changed with my face is that I do not apply primer anymore. I don't like to. I feel like it's an extra layer that I feel like I don't need. So I'm just gonna go straight into foundation, and for my foundation I'm gonna use the Bobbi Brown Longwear Even Finish Foundation with SPF 15 in the shade Almond, which is close to my exact shade color. Not completely, but pretty close enough. And I use about maybe like 3 or 4 pumps of it. And I just put dots all over my face. And I love this foundation because it's so lightweight and it really does look like your skin once it's all done. And the fact that is for the most part long wearing, especially because I have oily skin, I love this foundation. So then I'm going to use my Real Technique sponge and I'm going to blend my face with it. So obviously you see that the background has changed, obviously, and I haven't been on YouTube for a really long time, obviously. So I'm mostly posting up this video because my friends and a couple people have been asking me like, how do you do your face? How do you get your foundation to look like that? And so I'm doing this video now. So the thing that's changed is obviously the background, and that's because I moved completely. I PCS'd, meaning the military moved me. It's a permanent change of station. So I was in Mississippi when I started making YouTube videos, and now I'm stationed in San Antonio, Texas, and I love it here. I'm so obsessed with being here. Like, the real estate is good. There's so many options. Everything is here. I see old friends coming through here too, so I love it here. So yes, I moved to San Antonio, Texas, and we actually ended up buying a house. So we got the house built and we bought it, and it's a 3 bathroom, 4 bedroom house that we got built. The bedroom downstairs was supposed to just be a like loft or something like that. Not loft. It's supposed to be like a little bedroom sort of, or office with a half bath. But I converted to a full bedroom and the bathroom to be a full bathroom. So that way, if I were to, when we try to sell the house, maybe family members of people who are moving into the house, they may have someone who's older that can't go up and down the stairs. So it's just more convenient for those who, you know, whether if they have guests, the guest has to have their own space, or if the family members can't go upstairs and downstairs, they definitely have their own bathroom. And I'm really like pushing it into my face. I'm not being aggressive with my face, even though it looks like it, but I'm not. I'm just pushing it into my face. Next, for my concealer, I'm going to use the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in NC42. And I love this thing. I use 1 pump and I just kind of like brush it underneath my eyes. And I do that because that's the place where I'm the most oily at, and I put it down my nose, and then I put some by my eyebrows. And I use my finger to do all this because it's faster. And this is the same technique that I use to get ready for work as well. So back before I left YouTube, I don't know if you guys were noticing that my neck was turning dark, or maybe I was looking maybe bigger, maybe you have, maybe you haven't. But the reason it was because I was pregnant right before I left, and I wanted to keep it hush hush because I don't feel like it's good. I don't feel like it's good luck to kind of announce a baby before you're out of the first trimester, just in case, God forbid, anything were to happen. I wouldn't have shared exciting news and something weren't didn't go my way, you understand? So I was pregnant. I think when I left YouTube, I was like 2 months pregnant. I found out I was pregnant in March and I left in May. Well, I left YouTube in April, so I was only a month and a half pregnant at the time. But yeah, so I was pregnant. I was pregnant with a baby girl and I delivered her. I delivered her in November last year, and her name is Noelle, and she is now almost 8 months, and she is just the most precious thing to me. She's just my everything. You know, I worked with kids. I used to work in pediatrics, and then I used to work in OBGYN. So I was always surrounded by kids. Even when I was younger, I was always surrounded by kids, but I never really liked kids like that. And I never really saw myself ever becoming a mother, you know? But then when I met my husband and we got married, I was like, you know what? You may be the one to change my mind about having kids. And we were not trying to have a kid at all. It just, I missed my period, and then I was like, oh my God, I never missed my period. So I knew that I was gonna be, I have a feeling that I was pregnant. So I called my sister. I took a test at work because I worked in OBGYN, so it was just easy for me to do that. Took a test at work and I was sure enough pregnant. And at first I was scared and nervous, especially because when you know too much, you fear too much. And since I worked in OB, you know, I automatically assumed that she was going to die, honestly, just because I just always saw that all the time. So I figured that was gonna be my fate, which is another reason why I kept it hush hush. I wasn't being, I don't know what the word is right now, but I wasn't wishing the worst. It was just more so I want to just be realistic. Like, sometimes things happen and it doesn't always go your way, and you know, maybe if I prepare myself mentally enough for it, I would not be that upset if bad things were to happen. But you can say that to yourself, but realistically, by the time you get that first ultrasound, you're already attached. And that's exactly how I was. So that's the biggest reason why I didn't say anything until I was out of the first trimester. And then once I told everybody I was pregnant once I was 19, 20 weeks. So yeah, so I've already blended the concealer, and then I'm gonna apply my favorite L'Oreal True Match powder in W6, and I'm gonna apply it to all the places that I applied the concealer. So I would say the biggest thing when you're doing makeup is to apply less is more. So I apply a thin layer of almost everything, of the foundation, of the concealer. So I use my fingers to apply everything, and this brush, that's about it. Okay, and as I'm applying the powder, I'm literally pushing it into my face. So now looking back, now that I have my daughter, and you know, we're living in our house, and you know, just everything has changed for me, like my perspective, just everything changes, like my mind state, what's important, what's not important. I also usually reflect when I'm around her, because I do work 10 hours a day, and so she's in daycare that time because me and my husband both work, because we're both in the military. So we both work about 10 hours a day, and then when we get her, when we pick her up from daycare, all I want to do is spend time with her. Like, nothing else matters to me but spending time with her. So when I'm looking at her and watching her play and laugh, I think to myself, was I really that empty? You know, like, I look back now to the days that I was single, and I guess I was happy at the time, but this type of joy is something that money cannot buy. I could buy me all the freaking designer bags and makeup that I want, but there's nothing beats the richness of love, being surrounded by love and unconditional love, like the love you get from your husband and from your child. That's unconditional, or your spouse, whoever you choose. You know, there's nothing compared to that. And she looks at me with the most unconditional love, just being my little stalker, just like following me all around the room. And then when she sees me looking back at her, she smiles, and it just makes me so happy. So I put the powder on, I push it down to all the places that I get the most oily at, so that way it could pack in the pores and I don't get that greasy throughout the day. And then everywhere else, I just brush the powder with the sponge like everywhere. I'm not pushing it or anything, I'm just brushing it all on my face. But yeah, so I love where my family's at now. I love where I'm at right now, and there's no greater feeling than that at all. Once I brush, so now I brushed the powder all over my face. So now I'm gonna take like this RC Cosmetic brush. It's just a regular brush that looks like this. It's actually not supposed to look like that. It's supposed to look like this. Looks like that. And I'm gonna use my Bobbi Brown. This is obviously not sponsored by Bobbi Brown. I don't have those kind of views. So I use my Bobbi Brown bronzing powder in Deep 4, and it looks like this, and I am obsessed with this powder. Obviously, this is my weekend bronzer. Like, I'm not gonna use this every day because it's expensive. So on Monday through Fridays for work, I use this bronzing powder. So this is the Black Radiance True Complexion Soft Focus Powder in Milk Chocolate. It looks like this, and it's huge. It's so, look how big it is compared to the Bobbi Brown one. It's huge. I bought 4 of them from Amazon, and it is so good. It like honestly, I would choose to use this over this just because this is cheaper and it's bigger and it lasts longer and it's good. Like, I love it. So I got it in Milk Chocolate so that way it could be my bronzer. It's not a bronzing powder, but I made it into a bronzing powder. But for today, I'm gonna use my Bobbi Brown one instead because it's the weekend and why not? So usually now, like, so before I left YouTube, you know, it would take me like 30 minutes, 45 minutes to do my makeup. Now it only takes me 15 minutes. Well, obviously it's just taking longer because I'm talking, but I could do this in about 12 to 15 minutes and be out the door. So I just use a little bit of powder, I tap off the excess, and then I just make a C shape from my eyebrow to my cheek to bronze up my face, and you see the difference here to here. You see the difference. And then once I do that, I just bring it down here and to my jawline. And I'm using light strokes too. I'm not using a heavy hand. So basically I'm making it eat here and here. And this kind of acts as my contour too. This is what I did the whole time when I was pregnant because my face got super fat. This made my face look thinner. We were renting a house at first when we moved to San Antonio, and they were like, there's no point paying $1,550 for a house when we could use that towards a mortgage and probably pay less. And that's exactly what happened. We bought a house and now we pay $100 less than what we're paying to rent. So at least, even though we're paying $100 less, like some people are like, oh, it's only $100 less, what's the big deal? It's a huge deal because at least that money is going back to us. It's not going to someone else. It's not paying someone else's mortgage. It's not paying someone else's Gucci bag or whatever. Someone renting the house, us renting someone else's house, is putting money in their pockets. We want money back in our pockets, and money for retirement, and money for our kids, and maybe grandkids. So we gotta set ourselves up now to reward ourselves later. So I bronze up my face, it looks great. So now I'm gonna take a little bit of, this is MAC powder blush in Blunt, and I use this to contour, and it looks like this. So I'm gonna use this Real Technique sculpting brush. It looks like this. And I always do this. I do this. I see where my cut is, and I just kind of like contour right here using a light hand, and I stop right where my eyebrow is. So right there, and then I brush up. Never want to brush down because it creates like a to me, it creates like a ugly shadow, like a man's beard or something. So I do it here. I stop where my eyebrow is. So I stop right there and I brush up. And all using a light hand. Okay. So you see the difference in my face. I just want to make sure it looks good. All right. So next I'm going to take a random brush. This is just a random Morphe brush in M439. Just a huge brush. And I'm just going to, for the most part, just blend everything together a little bit. All right. So next I'm going to highlight, of course. And for my highlight, I'm going to use, so for the most part, the only products I really use is MAC and Bobbi Brown today for my face. So I'm going to use MAC's highlighter in Soft and Gentle. And I like this especially for the daytime because it doesn't, unless you use a heavy hand like I just did, it doesn't look like it's too much. But I just used a heavy hand, so that's why it looks like that. I use my finger and put it down my nose. So I put the highlighter here, not here. I put it here, here, and down my nose. And I'm just going to blend it all together. My husband's like, what's the logic in that if you use the concealer so that way you're not oily, but then you apply highlighter, that makes you look oily. That makes you look shiny. I don't know, it just makes sense to me. So yeah, so I just blended it with a brush. So I use another brush to kind of blend it out, the intensity of it. Yeah, so that way it looks more wearable. All right. So back to my eyebrows. So what I usually do for my eyebrows now, so I brush my brows. So you see I didn't really apply any product here. So as I'm brushing the back part that has the most product, I am bringing that excess product to the front so that way it brushes or it fills in itself without looking like it's a lot. And then I brush the hairs up and I brush the hairs in the back down. So the hairs in the front I brush up and the hairs in the back I brush down. That's just how I like to do my eyebrows. You don't have to do it that way. I just like to do my eyebrows that way. And then I'll use back to the pointer of my brow pencil and kind of define that brow a little bit more. And then fill in any sparses that I missed. Okay. So that's how I get my eyebrows to look something like that. Of course, at the very end, I have to, or close to the very end, before I put on mascara and everything else, I always spray my face. I'm gonna use the Marvin Askew Rose Water Facial Spray, of course, and I spray a lot on my face. And then you're probably gonna ask, doesn't that mess up the makeup? Not at all. If anything, spraying my face with this setting spray makes my makeup look a lot better. So as my face is drying, I'm gonna apply my mascara. And I don't really like this mascara, but it does the job. And it's the L'Oreal, it looks like this. I don't really know what it is, telescopic something. So for my lips, I'm going to apply my NYX lip liner in Espresso. So you're probably wondering, why are you gonna line your lips with dark lip liner? And I'll tell you why. I do that because a lot of times companies don't make nude-ish lip colors for women of color. That's just my opinion. And because of that, when we do apply like a regular nude-ish color on our lips, it doesn't look nude. It looks like we look like we're dead. You know, so this helps it look like what it's supposed to look like. Okay, so I line the top of my bottom lips, and then for my lip color, I'm gonna use the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick in Sepia. This is one of my faves, all-time faves. I'm just taking a lot of the excess product out of the brush, so that way I'm not applying more than I need. Okay, so this is my look. This is how I usually do my makeup every day, all the time. Like I told you guys, it takes me no longer than 12 to 15 minutes to do my makeup because I just don't have the time to spend that long time like I used to on my face. So I'm just going to take out my hair, finish getting ready as far as putting on clothes to go out, and then, what time is it? Yeah, I have to get ready to go. And then I will give you guys a closeout. So that is how I do my face. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I have to go. I am about to be super late because I still have to get baby ready. But I hope you guys have a great day.